Hey guys, so I've been watching a lot more vlogs recently. I have a lot more time on my hands because a lot of my weekend plans were cancelled. My whole household has COVID except for me, so it's great. And I decided that since this coming week is my final week at my full-time graduate role, I thought I should vlog it. I'm gonna try and make it like not that obvious. I'll only do it when I feel comfortable and when I can, but it should be interesting. And yeah, I'm gonna miss the place that I'm working at, but I'm also really excited to move on. So I've been here now for half a year. It's a social media agency and I have a few roles. The first one is I'm a client success administrator, which means that I create content. Then I'm an executive, which means that on top of that, I communicate with clients. And then I'm a manager, which means on top of those two things, I lead my whole division. And we're like the content creation, communications kind of division. So yeah, I just wanted some visual memory and to also help other people see what life after uni is like too, or just like in general in a full-time job. And hope you enjoy. Okay, so I've escaped the office. I haven't been able to film anything because my desk is like very exposed to everyone, so they'd be able to see that I'm vlogging myself. But I am gonna go and have brunch for myself just because I didn't pack food today. So I had like a snack of cookies in the morning, but obviously that's not enough for the day. So I've just searched up a place since I'm not going to be in this area like after I work here. There's not really any reason for me to come besides one friend who lives just over there. So I'm gonna go and see what this place is like. It's rated really highly. I think it's around the corner somewhere. I've never seen it, which is strange. I survived day one of my final week, but I'm gonna catch the train and do some groceries. Back from work now. I forgot to show you guys that yesterday I got my hair done, and basically some of my friends know this, but I've kind of been chopping at it out of a way to release myself, which is just really bad. But I had it really layered. It just looked layered if you looked at it, unless you looked at it closely and you were like, yeah, what the heck? Because I've never been someone who's really cared about hair. I did not care that it looked really bad when I was chopping it randomly every time I washed it. So I decided to go to the hairdresser, especially because I have a wedding coming up this weekend. And so he's just cut it pretty much right underneath my shoulder. I'm waiting to have like a really professional, expensive hairdresser do it when I have my black grow out. So it's up to here at the moment, and I'm gonna wait till it grows. It actually only needs a little bit left. I guess it depends on where you look at it, but probably to about here. There's a model called Hannah Klein who is famous for her really short hair and the style she does with it, and I feel like I do want to have that style once in my life. I think it'll only really look good when I'm dressed up with makeup, no glasses. But then again, that might be me being biased because I do feel most confident when I'm dressed up like that, so I don't really know. I thought I should just drop in and say that because I have not been vlogging or posting videos And it's mainly because I, first of all, have been super busy, but second, because a lot of my upcoming ideas were to do with Bill, my partner, and he like isn't very comfortable being on camera. So every time I asked him, he was like, I don't really feel like it, and I don't want to force him into it. Escaping for the first time today because I made sandwiches, but they were super light, so I literally ate them at 11, and I've been trying to force myself to live off the M&Ms we have in the dispenser ever since, but I literally cannot anymore. I could not get my fourth lot of M&Ms, so I'm walking to the station to get Macca's. Unfortunately, it is raining. I was hoping it wasn't, so I wouldn't have to grab my umbrella. And it's right now about 3, or almost about to reach 3. So I still have a couple tasks left to do, but they're not urgent.
Oh yeah, that's this one. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're not. You know what?
I have a YouTube channel before I post it. Okay, what? Wait, what? Okay. So how do I vlog?
What? Why do you have this?
Hi, so it's 7:35, I'm home now, second day of the week done. Every time I go into the office, I get more acne. It kind of subsides on the weekend, and as soon as I come in on Monday, I don't just aggravate my acne, but I literally grow more pimples. That's how stressed I get. I just finished making my sandwiches for tomorrow. Made 4 this time because I was so hungry today. And I'm just eating a bit of the leftovers, so it's avo and ham. And then we like to put this seaweed on everything. And it just makes it taste so much better because it almost has a sweetened taste. So I just finally finished a couple tasks on my personal list, and they were mainly to do with my birthday presents I had to prepare. So disclaimer, some people are probably thinking, we already kind of know this, I'm really bad at giving gifts, mainly because I feel really stingy when it comes to ordering things online or buying things in general. I feel like there's a selfish part of me that also doesn't want to spend money on others because that's just not how I show love. Like, I kind of am the sort of person where I know who my true friends are, and I will show as much love to them as possible, usually through randomly calling or really listening when we hang out, or at least trying to actually give away my books after I've read them. And some people do get offended by this. I personally think it's cool because I'm the kind of person where I don't really want to repeat anything, so I would rather not read a book again, and I'm not gonna like really have that much time to go and donate or something like that. I'd rather actually give it as a gift to someone, because especially if I've enjoyed the book, why not help my friends to enjoy it too? And again, I'm really grateful for my friends and the things that they give me, but I'm just not a big present person. Like, I can't look at something and be like, I appreciate this to the point where I feel like closer to the person who gave it to me. Like, I don't feel that way. For me, a present is more like an obligation when you're invited to an event and it's out of politeness that you give it. I don't know. I feel like I just express my friendship in other ways. It's about 11:15 now, so I try and sleep by 11:45, but I don't always, especially when I'm demotivated for work, like I have been the past few weeks, knowing that I'm gonna leave. Like, I have not been sleeping that early at all. Actually booked my first ever therapy session. It's gonna be in a fortnight, and I happened to find this really cheap place. I was on this platform where it matches you with different psychological like centers, and there was this random person who called me because I guess he had seen my search and he was one of the matches. I thought it was the website that I was on, so I was really confused at first, and then I realized, and he was asking for things like my credit card number to charge me for the sessions, and I was like, what is going on? But apparently that's normal with psychologists, so like, hopefully it's safe. He seemed really nice, and I've seen a photo of the psychologist he matched me up to, and she seems really like she would be a nice person. I just wanted to do therapy to like work through childhood trauma so that I don't take particular traumas into my future, especially when I get married and have children as well. Like, I really don't want that to happen, because I'm already really grateful that I have a very strong and understanding partner like Bill. Like, I feel like if I was dating at this moment in my life and trying to find someone I just have this feeling that I wouldn't have made really good decisions. So I'm really glad that I was matched with Bill and that I just have someone who's super stable. Like, I'm 100% the more unstable one in the relationship. And so I just really want to be able to work through myself. And an influencer that I really admire for her emotional maturity is Jen Im. I think she's grown over the years, and maybe I see it more because I've watched her since I was 9 years old. So all the way from her typical fashion content all the way to who she is now as a young mum. And so for me, like, listening to her speak, I just feel like she speaks slowly, which is something I did not do because I did everything fast. And she really takes the time to learn from things like books, even though she says that she's dumb. And like, she really takes the time to think about what she's saying and has a lot of wisdom for someone who's, I think, about 33, forgot her actual age, but I think that's really admirable. And so I want to slowly start to get to that.
Do you guys see how my skin's actually good when I wake up? Like, everything's kind of just faded into dots. And then I would say by the afternoon when I'm at work, it's absolutely aggravated, red. I even get extra pimples. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, let's just enjoy this while it lasts. This is the bathroom. Spend a lot of time in here, especially when my body was adjusting to full-time work. I would actually sit on the toilet to sleep.
We'll miss Steph.
He's subscribing to my channel.
Yeah.
Watching how to bowl.
Just the basic 4-step approach.
Bro, I need this.
Just get to the point.
Yeah.
Having a little snack. This is my outfit for my second last day. I have been losing motivation every morning, so I'm even later this time. Yesterday I arrived literally right on 8:30, so today I'm probably gonna arrive 8:40 or something. I've actually never arrived late in my life until today. So, as in, not in my life, but like to work. So this is a first time. Second last day and the first time I'm back.
Are you sick, Pat?
Yes, I am. I'm down bad right now.
Right, and I was like, it's gonna be too strong for me.
Too much to step.
I'm now trying to put on my pimple stickers. I feel like this one on my chin is from wearing my mask, even though literally only wearing it for like 5 minutes gives me a pimple. I'm actually going to my Connect group after I have dinner. That just means weekly Bible study. Yes, my pimple stickers are great. Also, a couple of my co-workers have subscribed. I totally forgot to vlog just then, but we started a new book called Gospel in Life. Most of us are young adults in my group. We basically want to see how we can apply our faith to our career and just life and where we're going in general. In our city, we have to think about how we are contributing as Christians and how we can be a part of communities and obviously be involved in things like work, but then also how do you still show your faith and still be like proud of it. So I thought it was really interesting and kind of related to work, which is why I'm including it. In the city, there's a lot of people with money and that is kind of their religion, and it's really easy to fall into that when you're just starting out in your career like us, and also beyond that, obviously. Oh no, I just realized that I accidentally took their pen home. Just being different and also not being afraid to show your faith, even though it's hard in an office. I think I definitely found it hard when I first started working, because I was like, I'm with these people so much, but should I even tell them about my faith? Like, is that even relevant? Or like, will I get made fun of? But actually something that one of my co-workers started to do, and shout out to him if he's watching because he's one of the subscribed people, he started to actually play my Christian playlist because my Spotify is like in the work laptop speaker. So when he started doing that, like obviously everyone knew I was Christian, and I was like, oh, that kind of makes it easier for me in a way. And also most of us are from like really ethnic
like religious background, so it wasn't that different to them. I think people like are used to going to mass or church, etc.
Definitely not me waking up on my last day at the job at 7:20 when I'm meant to leave the house at 7:30.
Hello, my messy room. I am going to be taking a week off in between my current and new job so that I can clean my room basically. I also have my trusty Glen 20 to spray everywhere because the rest of my family has COVID, so I'm kind of just like, they're kind of roaming around because everyone's kind of like more relaxed about it in 2022, but also like I don't want to get it because I'm starting my new job, and I also don't want to spend my week off in isolation if I get it. And ignore my hair and just everything. I'm not bothered. Welcome to the end of the video. I wanted to talk about things that I've learnt from this year because the past half year has mainly been about work for me and really just adjusting to my new lifestyle and just becoming more of an adult. I have worked at companies in internships, so I've done 4 of those. And so office environments aren't new to me. I feel really relaxed and comfortable in them, but I have always been at small companies. So I'm anticipating that my upcoming job, which is in a big international company, will be extremely different with just the way that you act, feel, talk, dress. I'm really used to small companies with about 30 people or so, like smart casual, like what you would wear to an office, but really, really relaxed. Like I genuinely just wear casual outfits, but then just pair them with either my work heels or boots. So like it doesn't really make a difference for me. It's really like a young culture. Like we literally play party music while we work and stuff. So it's going to be a huge change because from what I've seen from my interview, like everything's very formal at my new place. So I just wanted to talk about what I've learned so far because I know that most people I know are still studying. I think it's really important that people talk about work. Like I had a few older people talk to me about what my thoughts were and more about in a Christian context on like how I should view work and stuff, but I don't think I ever really had anyone sit down with me and be like, hey, these are things that I've learned, here are some practical tips or things you might not expect. So I just want to use this video part to explain a few things that I've learned. The first thing is your body will adjust. A lot of people like get a shock, like physically as well, when they just realize how early you have to wake up. My job is different because it's not hybrid, unfortunately. I wake up around 6:15 and I'll be trying to get out of the door about 7:15. Try to arrive at work maybe like 8 or 8:15 just because we have morning meetings and I want to kind of like get my emails out of the way. But we do start at 8:30 and then I finish at 5:30. It's a culture of overtime. So I think the latest that I've left the office is probably like 7:15, and then the latest I've ever actually even done my work, I'm pretty sure one time I had to do something at like 10:30. So that's what kind of happens at a small company. You're getting up and then you come back home and all you have time to do is legit eat dinner, shower, and go to bed. There's no other time to do anything. And for the first, I would say like 4 months, I was kind of just like waiting myself to snap out of it and be like, oh, when I get home, I am going to do my work. I'm going to do my devotionals, clean my room, wash my hair. I'm going to do a whole bunch of things. I'm going to be productive just like that. Like I'm just going to click my fingers and it's going to happen one day. I'm just adjusting right now, but it's going to happen. And then it took me a while to just realize, hey, like I actually have to come back home and have the mindset of, no, I'm actually going to get my personal life work done. Otherwise it's never ever going to get done. Like I have to now check my emails on my phone, which I never used to do. I used to rely on my routine where I would actually like log onto my laptop. I honestly like still don't do my devotionals very consistently anymore, which I really want to get back into. That's a whole other story. I don't really read that much. Whenever I do have like my own to-do list, because I no longer use a written schedule, I actually go on to messaging myself on Facebook now, and that's how I remind myself to do my personal tasks. But yeah, like legit, when you get home, especially when you have a workplace that's an hour away like I do, like you do not have time to do anything, especially when it's winter right now, like autumn and winter. When you're going home, it's already dark, and so you already feel like your body's, your eyes are kind of like, oh, it's like 8 p.m. practically because it's so late, like it feels so late. So when you're actually at home, it's really, really exhausting, but trust me, your body will adjust. That was the point of this tip advice point. Eventually it won't be so hard to wake up. Like it will still be hard, but it won't be as hard. And when you're coming home, like you will kind of just snap out of that adjustment phase and be like, okay, I have the strength and I have the motivation to do my own stuff. Like I have to do this stuff anyway. So I have things like I need to prepare birthday presents for people's parties. I have to organize my own birthday party that's coming up. I have to make time to clean my room. Like I have to really set these things for myself, because otherwise it will just never happen, which I kind of just thought it would naturally, but yeah, that's not how it works. My next tip is don't go into work expecting friendship. I think a lot of people, and someone who I also know who's started full-time work like this year as well, we were sharing about this, where she kind of went into work expecting to make friends and now she doesn't feel like she really has any at her company, whereas I have like pretty much don't expect to make friends anywhere. That sounds really bad, but like if you just don't go in having expectations, like then you won't feel like they weren't met and you won't be disappointed later on. So when I went into my current company, I knew everyone was young and stuff, but like they're your colleagues at the end of the day, they're your co-workers. And I also read some pretty good piece of advice where they said that if you do act on a really, really like friendly, like close basis with your co-workers, do you actually think that productive work will be done? Like I don't think so. You have to have that kind of certain professional distance to actually be productive. So I thought that was good advice, and I guess it kind of just got absorbed into my attitude. And I ended up actually making really good friends with my now ex co-worker, because he just left like literally like a fortnight ago. But like we're still messaging even now, and yeah, I made really good friends with him. You're working with people, opinions are going to clash. People aren't gonna exactly like the way that you act or the way that you say certain things, and that's like not your fault. And also like you're not out here to make your best friend for life. Like you're literally here to get your work done. So yeah, don't expect to make any friendship. But it's just easier that way. And then that way when you do make friends, because I'm sure you will, like I'm sure that at any company someone can make at least one real friend, even if it doesn't go like beyond, like even if you're not close friends forever, at least you know that you had someone there to kind of like support you and be there with you, because no one else has gone through the same experience at the same company as you have. Really important that when you're like applying for a job, you're reading the job description and really making sure you agree with everything. Because like, for example, like a lot of the stuff at my company, they do kind of tell you upfront when you're like just about to sign the contract, and then you're like, oh, that'll be fine. Like as a quick example, let's say it's not hybrid. When you're actually like in the interview process, you're like, I can go to work. Like, didn't people go to work before COVID for like 30 years straight? Like, I can go every day and commute an hour, it's fine. But when you think about it and you see other people who are able to work from home like 4 days a week, you're like, wow, like I wish I was doing that and not getting up at 6 a.m. So you kind of start to compare yourself to other people and you're like, oh, I wish I had that. Like I didn't realize I have it so much better than me. The next thing is take opportunities. So for me, like I got fast tracked into promotion 1.5 months in because a girl who was just trained into my role left. So at my company, you sign on and then there's a trial for a few months as an administrator, and then you go into being an executive, which is basically just being an administrator, which is being a content creator, and then you just add on to your job being a client communicator as well. Yeah, that was like really good because that was a huge learning curve for me. It was probably the biggest thing that I've learned, which is how to communicate with clients. If you're someone who's done retail or hospitality before, then you'll probably be fine with it. But for me, I had never really dealt directly with like customers, clients, that kind of thing before. So it was really big. Like it was a struggle for me at first. There was 1 week where I legit got in trouble like 7 times. But I eventually got good at it. I practiced like literally in my own room. And yeah, I made some good relationships with a couple clients of mine. The reason why I say take opportunities is mainly because recently, only about a month and a bit ago, I actually got a manager role. And now it's really good because now I can go around to interviews and put on my resume that I've literally led a division and I've led a team. People have literally reported to me, which is like something that I did not expect to be doing. And I know that obviously my company is small and it's full of young people. It's not like I'm at Amazon leading a team at 21, but like it's still really good for just like my experience in general. So yeah, take that opportunity. Like even though if it's like more workload and it's harder and you feel like it's not worth it, like it probably is, because at least now you can say it in your next job. The next thing is use LinkedIn, especially for people in the corporate sector like I am. LinkedIn is really important, and I honestly go on it so much now. Like I know a lot of people find it annoying because it's just like, I'm so glad to announce my new opportunity, but like it really is important for networking and people really value it a lot when they're like employing people and stuff. So I would put effort into your LinkedIn. The next thing is you do need a professional persona. So hear me out with this. A lot of people don't want to be fake, and I get that you don't want to have different personalities, and this is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you think about it, like, don't you act different in front of different friends, for example? Like, I have the friends that I do shoots and take photos with, and I have friends that I only have deep discussions with. Like, those are very different parts of my life. And yeah, obviously there's people who can do both, but honestly for me, I find it quite rare. You're just always going to have those people who you want to party with, but then there's those people who you want to just go over to the house, and you kind of act differently and just have different types of relationships and friendships with them. So it's kind of the same with your professional self. Like, something that I learned when I was really struggling with communicating with clients when I first got that role was they were saying to me, look, we're not telling you to lie or be fake. They were like to me, well, actually, like, you kind of do have to have like this work attitude. Like, you have to turn on this work part of yourself when you're talking to these clients. And that's why you hear about how people have like a phone voice, you know, like, hi, how are you? Like, how are you doing today? Like, my intonation, like the depth of my voice changes. You just have to like act more confident and almost older than you are. Like, I think a lot of my clients wouldn't be able to tell that I'm 21. I think a lot of them think I'm about 24. So it's really all about how much can the client trust you. Like, for example, at my company, a lot of our client target market is actually middle-aged business owners. And for those people, like, they don't want to see like a 20-year-old just out of uni handling their social media that they're paying like thousands of dollars for. Like, they want to see someone who's like probably at least 25, like still young, because young people are good at social media, but also like not just straight out of uni, you know? So they don't want to see that. And you got to make them trust you somehow. And it doesn't mean that you're like literally faking it and being like, I'm definitely 27, believe me. Like, it's not like you're lying or anything, but it's just a way to kind of have that persona about yourself and have that air about yourself. And yeah, you do need a work persona. Like, that's just life, and that's how it is. My second last point is go out on the weekdays too. In the second half, so like the second ever semester I had of uni, I just went through a lot of like personal, like environmental changes and a lot of struggle in my life, and it was like the worst time of my life. And on top of that, I had said yes to pretty much anything that year, just because it was my first year of uni. I was meeting a lot of new people and just was really excited and doe-eyed about everything. So I found that during that time I was struggling mentally, but I was also having to do, like, when I wrote down these lists of things that I had to do and how many activities I was a part of and stuff, I literally got up to about 35. Like, I remember telling people, I've counted like 35 activities, what do I do? It made me realize that I just had to like quit. And from then on, to be honest, like, obviously lockdowns made it easier to do this, but all the way until the end of uni, I literally only went out on the weekends because I was like, I can't do it. Like, I am someone who needs to put effort into my studies. Like, I'm not one of those people who crams the night before or does things really quickly with studying. Like, I need to have things and concepts absorb in my brain. That's my context. People would talk to me who are older than me, like, oh, when you go into work, it's going to be pretty hard and you pretty much have to be disciplined and like only really go out on the weekends. And then I thought to myself, like, that's easy. I've been doing that all throughout uni anyway. But I realized, and this is coming from someone, again, who doesn't work hybrid, so it's very different when you work hybrid. But for me, I work in the north, so it's like CBD and then my office. It's very easy for me to go to the CBD after work, which is like, you know, obviously central to most people where they want to meet. So for me, I actually eventually found it easier, and this is only in the past like couple months or so that I've done this, to go out on the weeknights. At first, I just started making exceptions for people because I felt bad saying like, oh, my next free weekend is in like 3 months. So I started to say like, look, since we can't find a good date that suits us, let's just do a weeknight. Like, I don't mind if it's a once off. And eventually I just like kept agreeing to weeknights. And I actually think it's easier because now I have more time to sleep in and more free chunks of time on my weekend, which is when I actually want to stay at home. Whereas for me, I'm already out. Like, I don't work hybrid. I'm already near the city. I'm already on my way home, and I literally just stop in the middle of like my travel. So meeting people after work has actually been easier for me. And so I would say that when I start my new job, which is hybrid, yay, I am most likely going to schedule like weeknight events and dinners, probably on the days that I'm just going into the office. Cool. So my very, very last note is just a little bit of a sentimental one. It's just to be grateful for the experience. I'm really grateful for everything that I've been able to learn in half a year, and I'm sure that in my upcoming roles and like as my career progresses, it's gonna get even more intense. But I've already learned a lot, and
Like, I've always been really comfortable in office environments. I've always just felt really at home. My current job and company is like my dream high school self's job. So like, I always wanted to create social media content, and I always wanted to also communicate with people, except I just didn't know like the word clients back then. Looking back, and like, although this week is like very tiring and I just can't wait to get out, I am also thankful that I got to fulfill like that 16-year-old dream that I had. Thank you for watching this vlog, and also like little ending part. Bye.